One of my criticisms about Cardi is getting into real artist mode. Like, what does that mean? It's not about just social media and putting out music. It's about really getting out to touch the fans, which is why so, in the last video, I gave you guys an update on Cardi's tour sales as well as my expectations for the beginning of her tour, especially when it comes to performances. Now, you may have not heard every single thing that I said because it was recorded live and I had to chop it down for YouTube. So, when I made the comment about like how Cardi kind of acts a little bit crazy on stage, this was a good example of it right here, like how she's swinging her head. Now, it's not that bad here. I'm sure we'll have way more examples. But before we get into that, number one, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to let me know how you guys are feeling about her performances thus far. Let's all try to keep it respectful. Now, before the tour even started, Cardi B made an important announcement on social media with her new hair care company called Grow Good. This is actually really interesting because although Cardi wears wigs like every other female rapper these days, you know that she has a head of hair and thick hair at that under those wig caps. I may even check the products out because we've seen it actually work. And for people who may not know, there were times in the beginning of Cardi's career where she would go viral on the internet for making her own conditioner or pre-poo treatment, like with eggs and raw ingredients and stuff like that. And a lot of people back then always said that they would be willing to try what Cardi does. So I'm here for it, especially coming from a Dominican background and myself coming from a Hispanic Afro Latina background as well. I don't know if you have, let me know if you guys know about this sort of famous conditioner, and it comes from Dominicans actually. It's called 10 en uno, which in English means 10 in 1. And when I was growing up, I used to use that conditioner in my hair a lot. It's called 10 in 1. Here it is. So pretty small, but that's how it comes. It's 10 en uno, meaning 10 ingredients in one to make a super conditioner. So this was very, very popular in the 2000s among the Hispanic community. Once again, I and other women in my family definitely used it. And so no affiliation to Cardi B. I'm just saying that coming from that background where you're known especially in New York City for going to get a Dominican blowout and stuff like that, I definitely feel like it'll be successful. So let me know if you guys would be willing to try it. Let's move on to the night one of the tour kicking off in Palm Springs, California. I actually don't have too much bad things to say about it. This right here, this outfit right here is probably one of my least favorites because it just looks really chunky and the shoulders are big. But this outfit didn't come until towards the end of the performance. And you can see that she's sitting on one of her famous props. And I didn't see every single part of the show, but I did see a lot of it. And so this here was pretty impressive, not something that I was expecting at all. Cardi B's stage is very, very, very dynamic. Of course, there are comparisons to Nicki Minaj's stage for her Pink Friday 2 World Tour, as well as the lighting. But to be honest with you, I am probably going to go with Cardi B's stage and stage production because it's just so many things in the stage. And you probably haven't seen it. I don't know if those videos are floating around the internet at this point, but there are so many points in that stage that goes up and down. So for example, you will see an artist, they will pop, like they would come up from in the ground and they'll go down. And it'll usually be on one part of the stage, right? For Cardi, it exists on several different parts of the stage. And even there was a time where her dancers, it was female dancers were dancing with her, and they were also in their own stage lifts as well across the stage. So the stage has like 6 lifts specifically for the dancers, and then Cardi has about 2 lifts, at least for herself, as to what I can remember right now. But then she also has other stage props like the carriage and the cage that we've seen. I also recognize some dancers that have danced for Nicki Minaj on her last tour, but not such a big deal because that's literally how the industry goes. They dance for everybody. But I feel like Cardi definitely went to study. When we saw her go to see Beyonce overseas in Paris, she really went to study and see what did she want her shit to look like. And here is one of the parts in the performance that is getting a lot of criticism because Cardi's body and her ass. Now, for me watching it in real time, I was impressed because to do this, even balance yourself on these chairs, it takes some sort of physical and mental concentration to where you're balancing yourself. Like, let's watch. And sit and lean back, open, not so much because she's still on the chair, but to just think of like think of you being in front of a crowd and doing all of that, for your first time and also trying to not mess up. So of course I have more to say, so definitely stay tuned with me to the end of this video, but let's go through the actual set list, what was performed. So for Act 1, Dead Get Up 10, she opened with that. Then it was Hello. That's kind of when I started watching. I like Hello. Magnet, I don't really care for, but okay. Salute, I like Salute. Check Please, don't really care. Trophies, Enough, Money, Press. Act 2, Shower Tears slash Men of Your Word as an interlude. Be Careful, absolutely hate that song. This is where I started to get excited and where she started using the cage for Ring. Actually, she started on Be Careful, I think. Ring for Kehlani. I always liked that song from her first album. Through Your Phone, Killing You Hoes, On My Back. That was what we just saw with the chair performance. Safe with Kehlani again. I was like, is Kehlani coming out? But Cardi will definitely bring Kehlani out at some point because they just have several collaborations together. And she even used Folded as a transition song as well. So Act 3, Taki Taki, never really knew too much about that song. Bongos, really hate it. Bodega Batty, hate that as well. I like it. Okay, Salsa Dance Break. La Modelo? What? I didn't hear that because things were like going in and out. The service wasn't so good. So I probably missed that part. But that is literally my favorite song by Cardi, like probably period. Y de pensar que yo contigo quiero estar y de probar algo de ti para no olvidar. Yo, that is my song. Okay. 4, Wild Side, I heard that. Please Me, seen that. Principal, one of my favorites on the current album, and it's very, very slept on. Pick It Up, Selena Gomez, hate that one. Nice Guy. Okay, she did Nice Guy, and it was like a interlude. It was a transition song, and it was only the chorus, which is Tyler's part. But that is my favorite song from the actual current album. What is it called again, y'all? Nice Guy and Principal. Those are not ones that's pushed that you may hear a lot, but those are really good songs. Better Than You, Don't Care For, Up, Don't Care For, Imaginary Players. I was like, wow, she's performing this. Now she changed for this for a cult as well. Time, she changed the stage into a strip club. I was feeling it. On That Money, No Limit, Tatiana, Pretty and Petty, and WAP. Didn't care for WAP, never liked that song. But I was here for the strippers and her turning it into a strip club because it was what Nicki tried to say was full circle moments. That was really actually a full circle moment for Cardi because that's where she started. She started in the strip club, and a lot of people thought that she would never make it to the main stage, to having her own headlining tour. So that was a full circle moment for me in just watching her. Although I didn't really know Cardi like that when she was in the strip club, when she was a stripper, but that is what you call a real full circle moment right there. So shout out to Cardi, and either way, she should be really proud of herself for how far she's come and the show that she put on. Of course, there are a lot of critiques which are valid. I didn't see a lot of technical difficulties, but just in the way that she's performing, I feel like she could give a little bit less choreo and breath control, because towards the end of the show she was getting out of breath. But that's really where I saw Cardi's determination kicked in, and no matter how tired she's feeling, Cardi is going to make sure she gets through that performance and finishes strong, at least energy wise. And that's what you have to respect about her. Cardi doesn't claim to be perfect, she doesn't claim perfection, but she damn sure tries to do so, and you can see that in her determination. So at the end of the day, I'm going to put respect on it. And honestly, for a first show, for our opening night, I thought it was very, very well done, very well put together. And she could have gotten frustrated so many times. She could have shown that, but she didn't. She even spoke to the crowd. I've seen some fans saying that they want her to speak to the crowd more. Oh, back to the set list. So Act 6, Girls Like You, Finesse Remix, don't care about either of those songs. I didn't see this part. I didn't see Tomorrow 2. I would have loved to see Tomorrow 2 because that is her best verse of all time. And then I saw Outside, and she ended off with Bodak Yellow, which, once again, another full circle moment. That was her first number one. I thought that the crowd participation was pretty good. Yes, there were parts where I'm now hearing that the crowd wasn't so loud. I also saw that there were some empty seats towards the top. So even though they're claiming it was sold out, like it wasn't 100% sold out. And so I cannot wait to see the final numbers for because I definitely will be paying attention to that. So as I said in my last video, she's starting on the West Coast. And now I want to take you guys through my bookmarks for more things that I saved. One thing about Cardi is that she remembered her lyrics. She remembered her lyrics no matter what song she was performing. And I really appreciated that, especially as a Nicki fan who she got so many songs, so many verses, don't be remembering her lyrics like girl. So she trying to do choreography and remembering her lyrics, like that's a lot. This is the part of the beginning of the show that I did not see with this prop and her shooting. Oh my God. I think that is so cool. I think that's so cool. I've never seen that before, like literally ever. So I thought that was really cool. This is when she was performing Be Careful slash Ring, maybe. Yes, and then this is one of the stage lifts. And it wasn't done just one time in the show, it was done at several parts in the show. So Cardi really studied. One thing I want to see is the behind the scenes of the outfits, choosing the outfits and getting her dress. And I would definitely want to see how she decided on what kind of stage she wanted and all of the specifics that went into that. You got to put respect on it. You got to put respect on it. I really don't see how you can hate too much. So this is a part of the show that I didn't see with raising the flags, having different flags. And notice in the front, she has the Jamaican flag. Interesting. But oh no, that's not her. She's walking, performing. And so they got the Haitian flag as well. This is her performing Bodega Baddie, and I hate that song. Why they got a bicycle on stage? I'm crying. Oh my God. Cardi really went all out, like all out. Like, oh, that's my flag, Panama, Panama. So yeah, I really want to know what went into her choosing her stage. But for the most part, I'm here for it. And I will definitely be watching along for her New York City shows because that is an important city for her. Atlanta as well. And I hope this tour goes well. And yes, a lot of people are concerned about ticket sales, but I'm more concerned about production wise because one of my criticisms about Cardi is getting into real artist mode. Like, what does that mean? It's not about just social media and putting out music. It's about really getting out to touch the fans, which is why a lot of people are going to be proud of her because these are her first headlining shows ever. But I want to see when it gets hard for Cardi, what is she going to do? Is she going to persevere? Is she going to crash out? Is she going to give up? This is the hard part about being an artist, one of the hardest parts. Now, look at what was going viral. I got some thoughts on just Cardi's business and Nicki's businesses, Beyonce, and even Megan Thee Stallion. We talked about a couple weeks ago Megan Thee Stallion starting her business with not only Dunkin' Donuts but Popeyes. And I just have some thoughts about like how the girls are really starting their businesses and not really until later on in their career. So that's going to be part 2 of this video. Definitely tap the link below. Come in and find me on Patreon because it's already up by the time you see this. Okay. One last thing that I will say is that I do feel like the dancers need to clean up a little bit, clean up their formation because it does look a little bit messy. Some of the dancers were losing their steps. They were messing up a little bit, not in this specific performance, but that was happening. Nothing too big because they're professionals and they know to keep going, but I caught some things. And so it just takes some looking back, which is probably what they're going to be doing on their days off and getting constructive criticism from Sean Bankhead, the choreographer and creative director. So I think that everything will come together. And for Cardi, once again, just focus on enunciating and rapping and not so much choreography and rapping. Look at her. She's doing so much. Like, you got to put respect on it. Be thankful that you get effort from artists, you know? Wow. So thank you guys so much for listening to this video, listening to my feedback. Please share your feedback, share your constructive criticism, and keep it respectful. We'll talk in the next video. Once again, tap the link and come see me on Patreon where we discuss more of her businesses and more tour feedback. Peace.
It's your girl Vina Love, the Harlem Princess, your favorite princess, and this is Destiny V. Period.